Okay, my friends, I've been showing gigantic feet, and I call them no toes, and I've been showing them 1 foot here, 1 foot there, and people are saying, where's the other foot? Well, these are supposed to be the monopod, one-legged man with a giant foot to block the sun. These were gigantic monsters, and I have found in the ancient armor, they had armor like this with no heads on them and eyes in the middle of them and stuff like that. And I've found the Patagonian. I mean, I didn't find it, but I've seen actual pictures of it, and it still exists today. A Patagonian two-headed giant, and all of these things were real. They were written of, and even in the days of the ancient times, they said, "I wonder if these things really existed." They can't have. And here I'm showing things I believe that back up a lot of what's been said, what existed. And here it comes. All right, I'm going to I got the microscope out, and I'm going to go right on top of all these different things. And you'll see the same texture, the same fabric, the same everything. And so I'm going to start with my belt to show you what the fabric is the same. The fabric is the same. Any membrane or any surface, a skin and all that, very, very similar. You're going to see it uno momento. All right, you see that? That is my belt. And if I go down, it changes here and there, but it's pretty much similar. You see all these fibers and and this blackish looking stuff? That is the fabric, and I'm going to go to the other side of the belt, which is the finished side. And these are where all these little interstitium balls are. You see the little balls? Those are the things that could make the skin go like this and stretch and this and that and come back. All right, now that's page 1. All right, we're going to do some microscope shots. I showed you the belt, and what I say feldspar is nothing more than the interstitium, which is the outside coating of every organ, of every muscle, of every bone, and this is a goose head. And I'll show you this in a microscope, and I can tell you that's a goose head because you can see the feather patterns. You see the feather patterns. You can see his face and his eye and the beak and all of that stuff. Now, they died in a flood. The stuff that I have was in a flood. That's what happened, and that's why one side is flat, and they were waterlogged. And you could see the neck. You can see everything in here. There's no mystery here. There is absolutely no mystery whatsoever. It just needs to be examined. Even like these bones. That's a bone, 100% certain. No question whatsoever. Any anatomist says that's not a bone, you better find a new anatomist. And you can see the tunica, which is the fabric. You see these little triangles that's running here and over here? That's what they call a tunica. It's the actual fabric that wraps bones. I think they call it the periosteum or something like that. Now, we're going to see all of these in a microscope right here. So we're looking at them here, but we're going to be seeing them right up above as I get ready. So hold the fort. All right, I'm not going to bother getting too deep into it, but this is the belt. This is the back of my belt. Now you see all these little fibers and straps and these little white bits and the red and the black and little tiny pinholes here and there. That is just the fabric of life. Now, that is the back of the belt, which is the split leather. Now this is the front of the belt, which is not, you know, I don't know how they tan it or whatever they do to it, but if you could see really accurately, you would see the tendon balls, which is the interstitium. It's just the skin. It's literally the skin. Now there's a couple spots where it's a little bit stretched at the very end, which is a little easier. There they are, right there. You see it? Here's the interstitium balls. And jiggle the light down a little bit. Hold on, let me zoom in here. Come on, baby. Oop, there it is. Perfect. Now, you see all these little balls? You see them all? Those are the interstitium. And that is what keeps skin, and in this case, leather, from coming and stretching and staying stretched. Those little things are attached to little straps, and the little straps give, and the skin goes this way and that way and pulls and does it, and it all comes back. And all those walls have a little distance between them, and that's how they'll come back to. But you could pull it and stretch it, and you'll see the cords actually come strong. And I could show you that. I suppose I should, but that'll really confuse you. Okay, my friends, every day I say it doesn't get any stranger. Well, it does get stranger. You ever hear of a monopod? I never have. Somebody sent me this. They said, you take a look at this. These are giant things with 1 foot, one gigantic foot. And I've been showing these all over the place with 1 foot, and I always just thought the other foot was stuck deep in the mud, but maybe they are 1 foot. Now listen to this. Monopods. This is the other word for them. Sciapods, sciapias. It's a mythical dwarf-like creature, but they were monsters. They were, and let me show you down below. They call them dwarf-like here, but they were monsters. Now, Philostratus mentions these sciapids, which are the monopods, in his Life of Apollonius of Tyana, which was cited by Eusebius in his treatise against Heracles. Apollonius of Tyana believes the sciapods lived in India and Ethiopia and asked the Indian sage Larcos about their existence. St. Augustine, from the year 354 to 430, mentions these sciapods, monopods, in the City of God, Book 16, Chapter 8, entitled Whether Certain Monstrous Races of Men are derived from the stock of Adam or Noah's sons. In other words, these go back forever, and nobody knew even way back then if they really existed. And it said, and it mentions that it is uncertain whether such creatures existed. Nobody knew whether and just like today, they laugh at everything. Well, and then they come bigger, and they say that the race of sciapods are said to live in Ethiopia, have only 1 leg, wonderfully speedy. The Greeks call them, whatever that is, shade-footed ones, because when it is hot, they lie on their backs on the ground and are shaded by the great size of their foot. It's unbelievable. I never knew about this. You know, this is the beauty of Mudfossil University. People send me these things that I have no clue about, no idea about, until I have them sent to me. And here's what it is up above. Let me show you something up above here. Let me turn up the light on the microscope. Here we go. This is one of these notos, which could very well be these monopods, because, well, let me turn this up. I got it in the microscope, and I'm just going to show you that there's a lot of blood in here. You see all that red stuff? Hope you can see that. This is red, bloody tissue, and the black is the vein blood. Now this right here is an area where a bone attached, and this is a noto, and I'll show you. Right there is where the other bone laid up against this bone. You see that round spot? And you see some red bloody stuff coming over to the right and little black dots here and there. Well, that's artery and vein blood. And I mean, the thing is saturated with it. They all are. That's just that's the nature of life. Now, this is the bottom of this, and this is a noto. And right there, this whole thing, let me see if I can hold on. You see right there? That whole thing bolted to a pad. You see this right here? If you could follow it around, poof, it bolted to a pad. Now, I have a friend that has some of these that are in much more decay than this. And you can see the actual construction. I mean, a total construction of them. Now, this is one style of noto. Let me show you what that looks like. It's very, very, very strange, and but it is a noto, and it's a small noto, and this is the top fabric, which they all have the same fabric. This is the fabric of life. They call this feldspar. It's not feldspar. Well, you call it feldspar if you want, But this is the fabric that is on the surface of all, even like the leather today. You look at the leather in a microscope, it's the same thing. And that is all of the things that, like, you see down there, there's some blood coming out of this thing. There'll be spots where you'll actually see literal blood coming out. Now, I'm not going to play around with this too much, but let me show you what it looks like, and then we'll go on to the other ones. Hold on. All right, I'm going to go from my belt to the foot, and this is the no toe. And here it goes. I have to turn the light off. All right, so I'm going to go down right on my belt first, and here's the belt. And now, oops, I'm doing this by myself, and as usual, it's a little tricky. Now, there's the belt, and that's pretty focused. You see it? That's the belt. Now, I'm going to move it over to the no toe, and there's the no toe. You see it? Now, if I put a little moisture on there, you're going to see it's almost going to be like that belt. You can see it right now. Well, I'll put a little moisture just to see for my own knowledge. All right, we saw the belt. Here's the shoe. I mean the foot. But look at this. I'm going to show you some textures that are very, very amazing. All right, so let's go up here. Whoops. This one up here. All right, I have to turn the light off. And let's find a good spot here. All right, this is the foot. All right, let me home in on that. You see that? Now, where I got it wet, let me find some. You see that? That's the exact same stuff. It's identical. No difference whatsoever. Identical, literally. Now, let's look at the toes. This is a toe. You see the real gooey, bloody. It goes down into the toe. Look, see that hole right there? That's a blood vessel. Each toe will have a blood vessel. They have, they all have, toes have a lot of blood in them. Try to find another good spot. But this is what it is. So you see this is the top of the skin. The skin is broken off. We're down inside the guy's foot. All right, and then out here is where the toe is. So we're going to go back from the toe. This is the toe right out here. It's probably a toenail or whatnot. It's like blood. I'm going back from the toe towards the foot. Back. Because we're down below there's supposed to be skin over there. There was originally, and it broke off. You see all the fabric and that? Now, you see where we are now? We are way down here. Now, this is a 3D microscope, so we can go down and come back up. So we're way down at the bottom right now. All right, and you see this is the meaty sort of bloody-ish stuff. Up above is the basement layer where you have like a membrane-ish, and then you come up from there, up this way. This is the top of the skin, and you know what the skin looks like. You are fully trained now. So let's come up. Very slowly, very slowly. You see, we were way to this one. Now we have another layer. Now we're coming into the skin. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. All right, now we come up to the top, and there's the top of the skin. And there it is right there. There's the skin, exactly like the belt. All right, and there's some red spots, and there's some black spots, and some fibers and all that. Exactly identical to the belt. Now I'm going to move over to the belt. All right, I'm going to move right up over to the belt. There's the belt. All right, so I'm not making any of this stuff up. What we were just looking at is this right here. See that? That's what it is right there. So we had the belt and we had the no-toe. And I have, and like even the goose and all that stuff, I showed this over and over and over. It's getting a little crazy to keep doing this and have nobody look. What am I supposed to do now? What do I do? Say, oh well, that's it, have a nice day. Let's call it quits. That's just not the way I do things. So, sooner or later, someone will open their freaking eyes and look.